Something a little different now here on the Cornwall channel, something that we've not really done before, and that is to give airtime to the views of the public and businesses to the proposed out-of-town development in St Austell, which will be decided upon this Thursday at Cornwall Council level. The proposed COYTE farm development has separated views of locals, and tonight, ahead of the planning application decision on Thursday, I've been interviewing people to ask their opinions on why they support or object the development. Joining me now via Skype is Kevin Oliver from the Cornwall Business Forum. Kevin, thank you for joining us.
Hi Shane, it's good to be here.
Just as a quick update, how many members do you have in Cornwall now?
We have over 7,000 members in Cornwall and a couple of hundred from across the Tamar as well who trade in the county.
And what have those members had to say about the COYTE farm proposals?
Well, unsurprisingly, COYTE Farm has brought forward some very strong emotional responses from members whose livelihoods will be seriously affected should the proposal be passed. We've had hardly any comment in support, but that has to be expected from the local business community. I have to say, though, that the bulk of comments are from members who are realistic enough to recognise that unless they can provide a better customer-focused experience, the likes of COYTE will eventually become an inevitability. Businesses realise that they need to evolve and quickly to meet the public's expectations. In St Austell, there is a really positive desire to improve. Some great ideas and plans have been put forward by some of our members, the Town Chamber and St Austell Bid, to make things happen there. But those plans will not be viable if COYTE progresses.
Do you think COYTE will progress?
I'm told by some of our members who are experts in the planning arena that the proposal breached numerous planning guidelines and regulations. There have been detailed economic assessments that say that the approval would be disastrous for the local economy. But it's still on the table, so there must be a reason for that. I'm afraid I don't have the answer to that question, so I'm not able to predict.
On a personal level, what do you think about the proposal?
From a purely selfish perspective, I enjoy shopping in Cornwall. It provides what is becoming a special experience with small independent retail and artisan shop. This experience without doubt attracts tourism into the county and helps us stand out from the crowd as a holiday destination. I don't want to see a sterilised, characterless retail environment in Cornwall for myself or my children. Having said that, if you look at the statistics, the sustainability of local retailers and indeed developments like COYTE will be severely tested by the huge growth in internet and social media sales.
Kevin, thank you for the insight. As always, a very valuable contribution to the show.
You're very welcome.
Throughout the week, I've spoke to several people in the studio for and against. If you haven't had your say as yet, you can do so on the Cornwall Council website. Here is what they had to say. So I'm here now with Tony Goodman. Tony, your thoughts on this?
Well, my thoughts are born mainly out of frustration. After years of watching St Austell be strangled and everyone protest against everything, I decided that I'd take the bull by the horns. So I started the Silent Majority page on Facebook, which I started about 2 months ago. I now have 604 likes on it. Every post goes over the 1,000 mark. I've had about 10,000 visits in the past month. And the overwhelming consensus is that St Austell needs COYTE Farm. It needs it now, and we have suffered for long enough. And to all the people who say it will kill the town centre, it won't. Because virtually everybody on my page doesn't go to the town centre. They go straight to Truro or they go straight to Plymouth. And they have all said that if COYTE Farm is built, they will then use the town centre because they won't need to go to Truro or Plymouth. But there are a small minority of people within the town who have mainly self-interest, and it's them who are driving the Together St Austell and also the Stop COYTE Farm campaign. And should they succeed, they will send the town back into the 20th century for at least a lifetime, and we will all suffer as a result. So that's why I am for it, and that is why I'm doing what I am doing.
So imagine then it doesn't happen. What then?
Well, the Mercy and the developers will inevitably appeal. And should that appeal be unsuccessful, then they will then resubmit plans. this could take anywhere up to 4 years. And in that time, nobody's going to invest in St Austell because that will be hanging over St Austell. So we've got 4 years of no development to look forward to. And then should they then, after 4 years, still be unsuccessful and someone else comes along, we're another 4 years. That's 8 years. We'll be 50 by then. Well, no, not quite. Close to it.
What about the people that watch this and, they don't attend meetings or things like that, they don't have their say, but they'll be quick enough to moan, whatever the conclusion? What would you say to those people watching?
Well, Shane, that's why I started this in the first place, because the reason that nothing gets done in St Austell is through apathy. People just sit there and go, oh, I really wanted to do that, but most of the people, let's go for the affluent working to middle class who work 9 to 5 or 8 to 6, most of us, and don't have time to attend all these meetings. However, the small minority that protest do. If you want, we'll leave the studio and I'll take you 2 miles down the road to Carlisle Bay, and you can see what happens when a small minority of people protest. 10 years later, after Quasar's shut, and what's gone on there? Nothing. We lost Quasar's, we got nothing instead, and we've had nothing since. And all because a small minority of people got off their asses and did something. So it's now time for all the people that do want things to do the same, which they have done. From my page alone and from the Cornwall Council planning site, the amount of support has gone through the roof in the past 2 months. And the overwhelming verdict is that it's round about 71% in favour. That's from all the surveys, all the doorstepping, my site, and also the Cornwall Council planning site. So we got 71% in favour. That's a majority. That's a far bigger majority than the government ever got. And they're in power. So we live in a democracy. The majority should rule. So hopefully the Strategic Planning Committee will see it that way and we will get the right result on Thursday.
OK, I'm joined now with Jenny Trinelli. Jenny, your thoughts on COYTE Farm and why it should go ahead for you?
Right, well, I'm a St Austell girl, born and bred, brought my children up here, my grandchildren have been brought up here in St Austell, and we basically need COYTE Farm. We need COYTE Farm. We were let down terribly, and I don't care what anybody says, with the town centre as it is at the moment. We had a chance a few years ago to bring St Austell into the forefront and allow people to come here and do their shopping, and we cocked it up basically, and now's the chance to grab this opportunity because they're not going to come along all the time, and to grab it with both hands and say, yes, please invest in the area of St Austell, please come down here and give us COYTE Farm, give us the consumers what we need and what we want.
Now, you was a town councillor at some stage, you're not anymore. What's the reasons for that? I
was a Restormel Borough councillor several years ago, and to be honest, sitting on that side of it, I saw things that it's very, very difficult. You fight your corner and you fight for your electorate, and then somebody up country turns it on its head and goes against whatever you're fighting for. So I found it so frustrating to think that we were making decisions and we were making the right decisions for the people that we were elected to support, and but they were being overturned by people up in Bristol, people up further up the line who really, they weren't living our lives, they weren't appreciative of what was going on down here, and they were overturning decisions that were basically made on common sense and what the people wanted, and I just got so disillusioned with it, disillusioned with it. I mean, even when we were discussing the town centre, it was decided that it was the overall opinion that we would have an undercover unit, we would have suitable square footage that would actually attract the big retailers in, and then there was the people saying, oh no, if they want to come to us, they will have what we can give them. But it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. We are at the beck and the call of the retailers such as Primark and Marks and Spencer's. They actually dictate to us what they want because they can go anywhere. They can go anywhere they want. But no, we said, no, we're going to give you this square footage. If you can't go into that square footage, then you'll have to go somewhere else. But it really doesn't work like that, Shane.
So what about then? Because obviously Cornwall Channel, we've got to kind of be balanced, and that's why we're keeping it fair to hear people's points of view. But what about the kind of thing that they're saying that all these businesses will leave the town centre if this goes ahead? And it's...
Well, I'm sorry. I mean, I'm talking from a consumer point of view, obviously, and from a mum as a grandmother point of view. I would say to them, it's up to them to up their game. And if there's competition going in, to bring it on and say, right, we're in competition with you, so we will up our game and we will match you. I will shop where the best places to shop are. All right. So if you can offer me something in the town centre still that I will be attracted to going, I will shop there. If COYTE Farm offers me something up there, I will go there. It's up to. I'm sorry, I'm not a businesswoman. This is what I'm talking from the heart, and I'm talking from a woman who shops. And you give me a good reason to shop in your shop, I will shop there. If you know what I mean. And at the moment, I'm sorry, but St Austell's not doing it for me. And I'm a St Austell girl through and through. I love St Austell. I will never leave here. But if you're not offering me what I want, I will go to Truro and I will go to Plymouth. But I don't want to. I want to spend my money here in St Austell.
So if COYTE Farm goes ahead, you think you'll still visit the town?
If it gives me what I want, yeah. But at the moment, it's questionable whether it's actually giving me what I want. But I honestly think they're saying that they're struggling now. If they're struggling now, that's because of people are going to Truro, people are going to Plymouth now. It's their choice now to up their game to bring us into Austell now, and they're not doing it. So that to me isn't my problem. And I know that sounds terrible, but I'm sorry. I'm thinking of Charlie, Philip, Sam, Rachel, my grandchildren, and we are spending our money at the moment, Shane, in Truro and in Plymouth. You know, there's a few shops in St Austell, absolutely fantastic. But it's depressing when you go in there. There's a retail unit still in St Austell that's been empty, at least one, I know there's more than that, it's been empty since the shop place was built. The town centre was built. Now, it's a joke. It's gone beyond a joke, and we are suffering for it. So if you want to stay in your business in town, that's fine. Up your game and handle the competition if and when it comes.
Jenny, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm joined now with Derek Collins. Derek Collins is currently the Deputy Mayor of St Austell. You're also a Town Councillor. Derek, your thoughts on COYTE Farm and why you're actually for it, in support for it?
Originally, Shane, I was the Chair of Planning at the time, and the year before last, the 11th of December, we voted dead against it. The 16th of December last year, it was by one vote. I wasn't allowed to vote on that one, but we won't get into that. Information has changed, things have changed, and public opinion has come to the fore. And as a town councillor, we're there to represent the people without doing a political broadcast.
Sure. Yeah.
If you're not going to represent the people, why are you there? And I think the numbers have come out in favour of COYTE Farm. I think it's a golden opportunity. If we don't take this one, we won't have another. It will crucify St Austell.
And there seems to be, you know, the ones that are against, you know, they're saying obviously it's going to take away customers, people going into town. What's your thoughts on that?
A lot of people are going, as we know, to Truro and Plymouth at the moment. The money that's lost is astronomical. It goes into the millions. Yes, there will be a loss of jobs. Yes, it's gone from over 1,000 jobs at COYTE Farm to 724, I believe it is now. But you'll have a Sainsbury's, you'll have a Marks and Spencer's. They've already signed this. I don't know of any other development where big names like that have already signed before a sod has been turned. It's a magical opportunity for St Austell. If we don't have it, other towns and cities will welcome it with open arms. I can tell you that now.
And you think, you know, the Sainsbury's, the Marks and Spencer's will pull the people in?
I think so. And if we've got a connecting bus service, I can't see how we can lose out. I have spent years and thousands of hours on this. I have read every pamphlet on it, especially when I was the Chair of Planning. And what the against are saying just doesn't add up to me. I have to go with my gut feeling and with the numbers of people that are for now, that have come forward. I think it could be got to be a golden opportunity for St Austell.
Okay, I'm joined now with Graham Walker. Graham, if you can just tell me why you're against COYTE Farm. Can you just tell me why?
Lots of reasons, Shane. I mean, if you ask me up front, if you say to me, would you like Sainsbury's and Marks and Spencer's in St Austell, I would say yes, like most of the people would do.
Yeah.
But I think there are probably three core reasons why I object to it. The first one is where it is. It's outside of the town. It's about a mile from the town centre. It's an out-of-town development, and of course, what that means is it will have an impact on the town. And we'll talk about that later on, if you like. It's on a greenfield site. Clearly it's farmland, and I think that ought to be preserved. And most significantly, obviously I'm a member of St Austell Town Council, although this is my personal view. Most significantly, the majority of the public in St Austell are opposed to it. Not just St Austell, but everywhere else as well. If you go through them, the St Austell Town Council have voted twice to oppose COYTE Farm. St Ewan Parish Council and Penshrew and Vallis Parish Council as well have also voted. The Chamber of Commerce, the Bids in St Austell, the Cornwall Business Forum, they're all opposed. There's a petition of more than 3,000 people who've signed to say, yes, please, developers, we would like these people, but not here. And on the other side, there are probably about 800 people who are in favour. And I find, because I've knocked on doors and asked people about this, I did it for several months, I find if you take the time to explain to people, yes, this is a good thing, but not here, can we have something else? They tend to say, oh yes, and listen. The big thing, without any doubt, the thing which I think will determine it when it's heard next week at Cornwall Council is the economic impact on the town centre.
And what is that?
Well, you have to rely... Well, there are two things, I think. There's the economic impact, and then there's the bigger picture, which is the social impact on St Austell. Because as you know, St Austell, the heart of St Austell, has been the heart of our community, not just St Austell, but all around us for hundreds of years. When you come into St Austell, there's a big sign, isn't there? It says, "Welcome to St Austell, historic market town." And it's been that way for a long time, and I would like to continue. And if you think of all the good things that happened in St Austell recent years, an increase in trade, yes, some difficulties, we know that. But look, socially, you think of the fantastic carnival, which I know you cover.
Yeah,
Carnival's
absolutely,
been fantastic. The Olympic torch relay, the spring fair, a dozen other events, Armed Services Day. All those things are really important on a daily basis, and they will suffer because economically St Austell would suffer. There have been 3 reports. One by the developer, which says there'll be a 7% impact on trade in St Austell. A second one by the owners of Whiteford Place, Landai, and their figure is much higher. They're saying 25, 27%. And the most significant one is the one by the council itself. Now, these are consultants, but in their case they don't stand to gain, so they tend to tell the truth. And they say that there'll be a 27 to 30% impact on trade in the town centre. And you can imagine if you took a 27% cut in your turnover, and you put that together, and if you speak to the people in the town, 1,400 people work there, 180 businesses, more than half of them say they could not survive for a year on a 10% reduction in trade. So what it would mean is an awful lot of businesses go out of business, and Austell, like many other places in the country, would end up with boarded up shops and quite frankly, derelict. That's my difficulty. If you puncture the sort of economic heart of the town, you also damage the social and the cultural part of the town, which is fundamental for so many of us who live here. Then there's the argument about jobs.
I was going to mention jobs.
Yeah, well, mention jobs. When they first came along, Mercian, who are the developers behind this project, they told us there are going to be 1,300 jobs in as part of this development. And of course, don't forget, it's bigger than the town. It's a big, big development. They since revised that to 633, and now they're saying a significant number of jobs. So actually, that figure you can take with a pinch of salt. And we also know there'll be a significant loss of jobs in the town as a result. We know that because the Chamber of Commerce and all the professionals tell us the same thing. So actually, the net increase in jobs, I think, will be very few. And there's a difference also in the quality because so many of the town centre businesses are small businesses, so family-run businesses, have been for many, many years, who employ people, can keep families going. And I think it's really important that we support those people. So the economic thing for me is a key part, and that's, you can't divorce that from the social aspect of it as well.
I'm going to have to interrupt because obviously we're very short on time on this broadcast. It's just important to get a balance view, see what people are saying and getting that across. And in fact, we could open this to a 2-hour kind of special. But I just want to kind of close really. I'm asking both sides, people for, I say, what's your thoughts on people that would be affected by job losses and things like going out of business? What's your kind of thoughts on people that kind of argue the fact that says, well, St Austell's kind of suffering already? There's people struggling. There's people apparently sleeping in shops. I don't know this, I'm just delivering the news. But, you know, so people that say, well, St Austell's finished anyway. You know, a lot of people say that, you know. So what do you say to that?
We know that right across the country, retailers have struggled for some time. We've had the biggest recession in 100 years. You couldn't have picked a worse time to open White River Place historically. You simply couldn't. And we know that things were difficult, but they have got better. They have improved. There's been a 15% increase in footfall in St Austell. There are new shops all over the place, significant private sector investment, £25 billion by the owners of White River Place, and much, much more. And things are, no doubt about it, they are getting better. Add to that internet shopping, people like me who, you know, I'm not particularly a shopper, add to that, and it is difficult. But the issue then becomes, well, what happens if you don't do this? And I think if you don't do this, that would see a significant improvement in the town. And let's be frank, as taxpayers, we spent £75 million to build White River Place. Do people want to close it down? Because if COYTE Farm gets permission, you know, they'll have to ask some very difficult questions, Orlando. Will they stay or will they go?
Yeah.
So, you know, in the end, it's about that economic prosperity. And, of course, there are alternatives. Please bring these guys to St Austell, but just not there.
Well, I think that kind of rounds it up for me. I mean, this is one of those things that we're trying to get the viewers to hear people, see the people that are passionate from both sides. But if you was just to sum up in, you know, kind of 30 seconds to anyone that sat at home watching this, and we do get thousands of viewers, not only local ones, but people that care about Cornwall, and they're trying to make that decision to say something on the Cornwall Council website, for example. What would you want to say to those people from your personal views? Just summing up what you've said.
30 seconds? I would say to people that if Marks and Spencer's and Sainsbury's wish to come to St Austell, then we need to find a way for them to do so. But we need to find a way that does not damage the local community and local businesses in St Austell already.
Okay, I'm joined in the studio now with John Nella. John, just tell us who you're representing.
Well, Shane, I'm involved in a number of organisations in St Austell Town Centre, the Historic Market House, the St Austell Beard, the Chamber of Commerce, and I'm also here today representing a group called Together St Austell, because we believe we have a better alternative plan to the COYTE Farm proposal.
Right, let's talk about it. Get this off your chest.
Yep.
Anything you can tell our viewers they're considering. They don't know which way to go.
Okay. Right, well, if I can start with, basically, COYTE Farm is a massive out-of-town shopping centre. It's going to be situated on top of a hill, a greenfield site at St Mewan. It's actually not even in the parish of St Austell. It's on the western approach to our town. So as you drive down the St Mewan dip, the vista you currently have is of the lovely church and some green fields, and this is going to change that forever. Our planning policy states that town centres should come first regarding development, and the negative impact that we believe COYTE Farm, as have the various advisors to Cornwall Council, the impact is going to be dramatic, taking spend and losing jobs from the town centre. So one of the issues I have is that whilst the developers are claiming it's going to create jobs, I'm really, really concerned that actually it's just going to relocate jobs from the town centre to COYTE Farm.
Okay.
I think our local MP has summed it up quite well. He said, this proposal is like playing Russian roulette with St Austell. That kind of sums up the importance. I understand that there are people who are very much for it because they want to see an improved retail offering. You know, we've got Marks and Spencer's, Sainsbury's, River Island, people like that who are very attractive to the population of St Austell and beyond. But we believe we can find a better way using more brownfield sites to attract those people. But Shane, it's not just about St Austell. St Mewan is currently a green haven with that lovely church, a historic listed monument, which is going to, the council's advisors even have said that this development will dramatically affect the vista of that area. There's a huge majority of people in St Mewan, Truan, Sticker, Polguth, who are really opposed to the scheme because they're very, very concerned about traffic. Clearly, the developers are saying this is going to attract a lot of people, which it will. Well, that brings cars. The A390 at times now, especially in the summer, is at capacity. And the A3058 through Truan, which is a village, is going to get a lot of traffic, and people are really worried about that. I think also on that western side of St Austell, people are worried that there's going to be a lot of concrete, a lot of buildings, and potentially increased water runoff, which residents in Polguth and down the Pentuan Valley are really concerned about flooding. So there are still a lot of issues that we believe this development brings. We believe there is a better way forward, and I would urge all your viewers to look at Together St Austell, our website, which we believe we can deliver an expanded retail offering for St Austell, but in and around the town. COYTE Farm is out of town. It doesn't even touch the urban footprint of St Austell, whereas we believe there are sites in and around the town where we can bring an increased retail offering and indeed even be a bit entrepreneurial with what I would consider to be a strategic, cohesive plan of, for instance, moving the council offices into St Austell town centre. That would bring 220 people into the town centre every day who they would nip out, buy a sandwich or a coffee or have a meal, and then we could begin to kickstart the leisure offering of the town centre, and that would also increase the footfall and then attract improved retail offerings. The Old Vicarage Place, hot off the press, Old Vicarage Place is a big site, as you know, in St Austell, which has lain dormant for some time. Last week it was bought by an investment company who have signed up to our vision for the town centre and joined the Together St Austell group and are looking to develop that. And that is a big site which is brownfield and could accommodate a major retailer on one site, actually in the town centre. So we believe it's a strategic, coherent plan with stakeholders in the town signed up to it, not upcountry developers or financiers. We have to recognise that retail is changing. Internet shopping before Christmas, it increased by 30%. So we need to concentrate our retail offering in the very heart of the town centre. We need to turn peripheral retail probably back to residential. If we can bring council services and other services into the centre and build a community hub, that's a very strategic way forward. And using the brownfield sites is key for me, because we cannot keep concreting over our beautiful green county when there are alternate sites available which can be brought back into use.
So you're saying then basically to our viewers that COYTE Farm is not the be-all and end-all then, I guess?
No, I'm with many of the people who want to see the increased retail offering. I'm with that, and I totally understand it. But I don't think the position or the scale is appropriate for St Austell. And there are better ways of delivering that with a plan that's led by and for St Austell, not a plan that is led by upcountry developers and financiers. We need to be plan-led, not developer-led. And that is a challenge that I think Cornwall has as a whole, because the council need to adopt their local plan in order to make sure that all development, residential indeed, as well as retail and industrial, is being plan-led, not developer-led.
So what is the best decision for the outcome on Thursday? Have your say on the Cornwall Council website or via our playback of this show on our website, cornwallchannel.co.uk. If you want to get in touch with us to get across your views about anything affecting where you live in Cornwall, we would love to hear from you.